Right, once again, welcome to everyone. Thank you for attending this evening, and thank you for celebrating this year's International Day of Light. And the theme for this year is lighting, innovation, and society. So without further ado, let's proceed. We'll be looking at a short introduction, the science of light and innovation, light and sustainable development, light in culture, and art and society. And we'll conclude, we'll have some time for Q&A, completion of a couple of surveys, and closing remarks. But I'd like to draw your attention to the banner at the top of the screen. To celebrate this International Day of Light, we are offering an incredible 25% discount off course fees. That is all of our courses. So, for example, the Advanced Diploma, which is the most sought after qualification, that will give you an incredible 6,000 South African Rand reduction. Right, let's proceed. UNESCO, as you've heard, celebrates every year the International Day of Light on May the 16th. And although it's already been officially celebrated, we're continuing to celebrate it in this webinar this evening. We will look at the crucial role that light plays in science, culture, education, sustainable development, and it was this year a call to strengthen scientific cooperation. So let's have a look back at light the way it was those thousands of years ago, when early man, the only form of light that he had, apart from sun at nighttime, was the fire in his cave or his shelter. And slowly but surely, they found another way to find their way around by having fire lamps on sticks with a burning material that they could light so they could see their way in the dark. And then they progressed and they put animal oils and oils extracted from different plants to make an oil that they put into a little lamp, and they lit the wick to have a little lamp. So that was a big progression. And slowly but surely, we moved on to the first electric light bulb designed by Thomas Edison. And that's what it looked like. Wasn't very efficient, didn't last very long, didn't produce too much light, until he met up with Joseph Swan, who in the same year had produced a similar electric light bulb. And they eventually collaborated and they formed the Edison Electric Light Company. Because Joseph Swan, he had produced a light that was efficient for its time in history. And then along came the first commercial incandescent light bulb, something many of us will remember, and the younger viewers or attendees this evening probably don't know too much about. Produced about 18 to 20% light out of all the power that it consumed, and the rest was heat. So it was a very efficient heater in winter. And then along came the compact fluorescent light bulb in various forms. This is the curly one. And it went on and eventually they developed the PL lamp, which was slightly brighter for bigger downlights and so on. All of these are no longer saleable in South Africa, except those where there's stock still available. Until the stock is depleted, then it is fully banned. And here's the next advancement, the electric light bulb. And of course, we know that LEDs, the LED electric light bulb, in various formats, different forms, shapes, and sizes, different power, right up to very powerful floodlights. So there we are. We've done a little bit of history just to start the evening. So where do we go from here? Let's look at light. Light is fundamental to technological and social progress. It gives us the ability to see and to interact in the world around us. It drives technological advancement because without light, we wouldn't be able to see to develop those technologies. It impacts our well-being because we know that it interacts with our body. Our circadian rhythms are controlled by it, which in fact regulates the production of hormones in our body and many other functions. It impacts on our societal development, people around us, and the scientific principles govern behavior of light in communications, energy, medicine, and humans. So light has a huge impact in daily life. And of course, natural light outside in sunlight also has a huge impact. That we're able to see so much, but also we receive our daily dose of vitamin D. The current impact of lighting on daily life, it enhances productivity and more through proper lighting design, proper good lighting design. People who understand the properties and performance of light. Studies show that productivity can improve up to 20% with good lighting design. Philips found that workers who were exposed to dynamic lighting reported higher energy levels and a better overall feeling of well-being. Now that's rather significant. We often brush these things aside, but they are really important. Energy efficiency can result in reduced consumption by up to 80% compared to the old technology lighting. And some of you might have remembered attending a webinar that I presented on super energy efficient lighting, using all the other technologies and the progression of LED into the new world that gave us even better energy efficiency. Current impact of lighting in terms of healthcare. I've already mentioned that it regulates our circadian rhythms, but it also results in improved sleep quality and our overall health. Reduced patient recovery times in hospitals and also staff alertness. Studies have also shown irrefutable proof that patients in well-lit rooms with natural light have shorter hospital stays and less pain medication. The Swedish hospital found that patients in sunlit rooms had a 22% shorter stay compared to those in dimly lit rooms. And then, of course, UVC light for sanitation, disinfecting surfaces and the air, reduced spread of infection in hospitals. Infection control in hospitals is a critical thing. My wife recently had a knee replacement, and prior to her surgery, the night before and again the morning before, in the shower, she had to use special liquid soap to in fact ensure that when she went into hospital, she did not take into hospital anything that would risk increased infection whilst in a hospital to harm other patients. In education, it leads to improved academic performance. Classrooms with ample natural light have been linked to better student performance. A study by Heshong Mahoney Group, no, it's not a Chinese group, it's in fact in America. Students in well-lit classrooms progressed 20% faster in maths and 28% faster in reading compared to those in poorly lit classrooms. It also led well-lit classrooms result in less absenteeism. Good lighting had lower absenteeism than in poorly lit schools. Schools with tunable lighting were able to produce students had better focus when concentration was needed, and when they changed to warmer correlated color temperature, it was a more relaxed environment. So real-world examples of the use of natural light, and this is Lomas House in Guadalajara in Mexico. The central courtyard in the architectural design was specifically there to allow natural light to penetrate each floor of the building. And this is known as biophilic design approach. If we go to Panyaden Secondary School, library in Thailand, another completely different part of the world. This cathedral-like space is a calm, inviting space where fresh air circulates easily. It is open to the sky, promotes well-being and learning. The linear LED lighting supplements the natural light that is coming into the space by day through the roof and through the windows right around. And also it provides general illumination in the evenings. Our students are very familiar with this building because they learn all about it. It's known as the Edge building in Amsterdam. And I saw this building for the first time before it was complete and even occupied in 2014, when we were on holiday on a sea cruise. We visited Amsterdam and Haarlem. It's the greenest office building in the world. We do not have enough time for me to take you through that building and show you all of the features. But the lighting can be adjusted by the occupant. But there are more people or employees that work for the company in this building, and the anchor tenant is in fact Deloitte. big accounting practice. But everybody doesn't work in the building. So they book space when they want to work. And when they go in, using their smart device on their iPhones, they are able to adjust the light setting to theirs. The system recognizes them by their phone, and it automatically adjusts to the light that they enjoy and the temperature of the air conditioning. The building is highly efficient with solar panels on the roof, and the glass panels also have solar panels fitted into them. Optical fiber for communication. This is crucial for high-speed internet, as we've all come to realize only too well. And if we go to a place that's got slow internet, we really complain. We've got long faces. But it's essential for telecommunications in the model world or at the speed of light. Solar energy is light dependent. It's dependent on natural light in order to soak up the energy to provide electricity where it is needed. Medical imaging, MRI scanning, that's magnetic resonance imaging, CT scanning, computed tomography, ultrasound scanning, which uses high-frequency sound waves, and then light to interpret the images generated, also known as a sonogram. Many ladies who've been to visit the gynecologist or their doctor have had an ultrascan to have a look to see if the baby that is forming is healthy. When I had a heart attack last year, they used ultrasound to check to see how my heart was functioning, where the problem was, and then they use it every time I go for a checkup to check that everything is still fine. And they view it on the screen. I'm able to see what it looks like, and that's done through a sonogram. X-rays, of course, use a specific frequency of light to create images to see where we have broken bones or whatever the nature of our problem might be. And then we have laser surgery. We've advanced into this crazy world that we live in, where there's laser used for surgery, laser used for eye surgery. It's also used to blast kidney stones apart. People who suffer from kidney stones. So there are many applications of laser surgery. All light. Then there's photodynamic therapy. Again, it's using a form of light, also known as PDT, non-surgical treatment, using light with photosensitizing drug or a cream to kill cancer, particularly skin cancer, and precancerous lesions that develop on the skin. So light, as we journey, we see how important light is. We cannot do without light, be it natural or a form of artificial light in our daily lives. In manufacturing, laser cutting machines use laser light for optimum use of materials, highly accurate, fast, and least wastage. We've done a lot of work at one particular factory that has 3 laser machines. They use about 10% of the production of the laser machines, but they do work for people all around South Africa and in neighboring countries and so on, in stainless steel. And it's incredible. When they turn these things on, the lights dim. So they have special power feed just for the laser machines. And then light is provided for robotics. So the robot, which is pre-programmed, is able to check the quality in manufacturing before it packs for palletizing, or to check the quality when it depalletizes items. And I had the privilege 2 years ago to, in fact, develop the lighting for this laser technology and for the laser production line, palletizing and depalletizing line. And you will not believe how simple the solution was in the end, but it has to be precisely placed and precisely aimed. And the beam angles have to be very precise. Then quantum optics and lighting. Quantum optics, scientists squeezed a single photon, just one photon. Not a bunch of photons, one only, out of one particle, with precise results used in lasers through to quantum computing. Because for a laser, it needs just the ability to produce a single photon in that laser light. And as you all know, a photon is light. Then we have quantum dot lighting. Quantum dot lighting, the ability to produce vibrant, accurate colors with high brightness and low cost. All the quantum dots are fitted there, as you can see them in that image. It has a very wide color gamut. It covers a larger spectrum of colors than standard LED is able to produce. Very high brightness and very efficient. Low cost to manufacture or fabricate. It has tunable wavelengths, ideal for circadian lighting or human-centric lighting, as we also know, and great for flexible and transparent displays. So if you've got flexible displays in a shop as part of your promotional material, you can light them with quantum dot. Then we look at light and sustainable development. And we're familiar with this now, especially in South Africa. We're very familiar with solar panels mounted on rooftops all around the neighborhood. Everybody's got solar panels because we went through a lot of time, a long period of load shedding. It's times when we have certain hours of the day that we do not have electricity. So to cope with this, people fitted solar panels. People fitted inverter systems. We have a big inverter system. So we don't even know when the power is off. Solar panel development, let me take you through it. And I teach my students, we don't want lots of writing on the screen. But for people who are going to use the link and they want to keep this, here's the information that I'll be talking about. First of all, you have bifacial solar panels. In other words, both sides of the solar panel are able to collect light for energy, to produce energy. So it increases energy production, but with less space, lesser area is required. Then you have thin solar panels. They're lightweight, they're flexible, they are easy to integrate into building materials. You have solar skins, which are customizable to blend in with the actual building materials, the aesthetics of the building. Energy producing, but yet they still have visual appeal. So they're not like a an add-on, unsightly old traditional solar panel. Then there are buildings with integrated solar panels into the windows, into facades, where they turn the structure into a power generator, in much the same way as the Edge building in Amsterdam. And remember what I said to you, that building, I saw it in 2014, and it was occupied in 2015 for the first time. Then you have agrovoltaics. Crops grow under solar panels. They optimize the land use. But the solar panels collect the energy, but yet they still allow the light to reach the plants. So the plants continue their growth cycle. But above all the plants in the fields, solar panels. If you drive through Spain, as we did last year when we visited Daniel and his brother Matthew in Madrid, right throughout the countryside is huge areas with solar panels. Quantum dot solar cells, which are tiny semiconductor particles that are used to capture light more efficiently. And they have a higher conversion rate of light to energy. And we're only at the beginning of the journey with quantum dots. The advances of LED themselves, very, very energy efficient, up to 30% more energy efficient than early LEDs. They have dynamic tunability, ideal for human-centric lighting in offices, other facilities, and education, and also human-centric lighting in hospitals. There's smart integration with Internet of Things. They integrate very easily into all those different other fields that we use in the Internet of Things environment. Micro LEDs, tiny LEDs, ultra bright, color accuracy, and energy efficient. Then they have enhanced durability. The early LEDs didn't have long lifespan. They didn't have that longevity that we talk about. But now, they're extending the life of LEDs. And most important, they're more weather resistant and great for outdoor use. And then they're very sustainable. They perfectly fit into the circular economy, where components within the LED can all be recovered and recycled and used again. So limiting waste. Then we have LED grow lights with built-in monitoring, customizable spectrums for different growth stages and different types of plants, because the percentage green, at least blue and red in the grow lights differ for different plant types. Then there's smart lighting systems that actually provide real-time adjustments. They change the light because they're tunable for optimum growth. But remember also, they also adjust in terms of the time of light that they produce, because plants also have to sleep. Why? Because the plant needs to get rid of the carbon dioxide that accumulates in the plant. And if they're constantly growing, they don't have a chance to rid themselves of that carbon dioxide. So you can't subject them to grow lights continuously on a 24-hour cycle. Then light solutions for monitoring systems in healthcare. Circadian lighting improves patient health and recovery. UV sanitization for keeping the area sterile and prevention of infection and spread of bacteria, and Internet of Things integration to track patients, equipment, medical staff, using indoor positioning systems, using all forms of digital methods. When I was in hospital last year, everybody had a tablet, and my complete history was on that tablet. From the monitoring devices, the oxygen levels, the blood pressure, everything, heart rate, everything was on there. And the cardiologist, when he came to visit, he didn't have to update his tablet. It was automatically all updated. So the sisters, for night duty, daytime, they all had a tablet. And it was one tablet, one nurse per patient in ICU. So very advanced. And the technology is there. And the healthcare services have realized the advantages. So light solutions for monitoring systems in the environment, smart street lighting, where it can adjust the brightness, reduce energy consumption, monitor temperature, humidity, air pollution, and so much more. Then environmental sensors, power sensors, photosynthetically active radiation for plant growth. So you can monitor plants in agriculture. Not only vertical farming and grow lighting in buildings, but also externally for plant growth. Pyranometers for monitoring solar radiation. Installed at weather stations to monitor the environment, to warn farmers when there's going to be big floods or storms or whatever case, and also residents of cities. So we're more efficient, that we know how to deal with what nature throws at us. Street lighting advances where they have in fact moved over to using red. Many people poo-poo the idea and say, how can you use red? But we can drive perfectly under red. And for the older people who remember the old SOX lamp, low pressure sodium, it was very much this color. And it was perfect. It lit highways and byways. And we were able to see perfectly. It's safe lighting. It's bat friendly. It's fauna friendly. And why? Do you know the answer? Most mammal species are not able to see red. So for them, it's like darkness. All right? So it's perfect for them. So it's fauna friendly, bat friendly, turtle friendly. Little turtle hatchlings, when they see the street lights, they imagine it's the moon on the water, and they go in the wrong direction and they get run over in the streets under street lighting. But if you have red street lighting, the little turtles are not drawn to it. They are drawn to the sea, which is where they belong. Then you have Zeehoek in Newcorp in the Netherlands, where they've fully implemented red streetlights. And Worcestershire in the UK, they've also fully implemented red streetlights. And now recently, Cree have developed a 1900 Kelvin LED streetlight to improve driver visibility, but at the same time, it's less harmful to fauna and flora, less light polluting, and less glare. It has less light pollution than the 4000K and higher LEDs. If you see what 4000K and higher LED light looks like from the sky, It's incredibly bright. We used to blame a lot on the high pressure sodium lights, but LEDs not been much better. And that's why so much effort has been put into developing 1900 Kelvin LED street lights, which is very close to the high pressure sodium. Then we have street lighting controls. There are many different systems. So I'm not talking about one specific system, but there's adaptive lighting controls that adapt to the weather conditions. So if the weather conditions are bad, the light levels improve to try and aid safety. Light controls that adjust to the traffic flow, speed of vehicles, time of day or night. They provide wireless communication. Whilst you're driving, you still enjoy wireless communication on your mobile. They have greater energy efficiency. Because they are adjusting, they're consuming less energy. They have presence detection, so they can turn off altogether. And as soon as people start approaching, the lights turn on. They plug and play systems, so they can be fitted to existing lighting, and they help to preserve the darkness. So at this point, let me show you what we are looking at. Sorry, we got the wrong one there.
Every day, streetlights are powered from sunset to sunrise at full strength throughout the night, even when there's no one around. This costs Europe over 27 million euros each day. This is a big waste of energy and money, and additionally, an unnecessary source of light pollution. The solution is both simple and effective: Twilight Intelligent Street Lighting. A plug-and-play wireless sensor to make streetlights intelligent, suitable for both conventional and LED streetlights. The lights dim to a predefined level during off-peak hours, when no one is around. And as soon as any presence is detected, all the surrounding lights glow to the full mode. In this way, a pedestrian, cyclist, or a driver always moves in a safe circle of light. The right amount of light when and where it's necessary. That's the idea. The result? 50% lower maintenance costs, and energy saving up to 80%, and therefore also considerably lower CO2 emissions. Moreover, the return on investment is between 3 to 5 years. Twilight Intelligent Street Lighting is therefore a unique solution which combines public safety with savings. Would you like to know more about this solution or become a partner? Visit us at twilight.com. Twilight Intelligent Street Lighting, a bright future for people, planet, and pocket.
Right. Well, you might have seen that it was 2013. There's so much technology out there, and there's technology that's been available for as long as that. And it just gets better and better and better. And I looked at some yesterday as well, which is fascinating to see that all these things are available. I think we've jumped one, yeah. Right, we're going to move on to lighting and acoustics. Who would have thought that all of a sudden lighting can be combined with acoustics? And it could have been done long ago, but nobody thought about it. But these are light fittings. They're in production overseas. Benefits: noise reduction, enhanced lighting, and aesthetic appeal. They are ideal for offices. They're ideal for call centers. And we're going to look at a few of them. There's another one, ideal for large open plan offices, schools, universities, public spaces, libraries, restaurants, conference centers. And these are just a few. The range is huge. This is an acoustic light, and it looks like the sky. It's beautiful. Look at this huge panel. But again, it's acoustic. It absorbs the sound, gives you a pleasant environment in which to work. So what are the social and economic benefits of lighting? Greater economies of scale of production of advanced lighting technologies makes it more affordable for the communities that have been underserved in the past. And South Africa has that. But it's not only us. Throughout the world, South America, Asia, everywhere in the world, there are communities that have perhaps been underserved with some of the great lighting that's available. Greater adoption of new lighting technologies can result in increased job creation, because the more people that are using the new technologies, the more the technologies will be produced. It will lower production costs, cost savings, energy savings, and it will result in the user having a lower carbon footprint. And once again, it slots into the circular economy. It's easily recyclable. What about cultural benefits of lighting? Well, we know there are spiritual and religious benefits of lighting in various different places of worship around the world. Celebration and festivity. We know that festive lights, we just think about in India, Diwali, the festival of light. Cultural identity and heritage, storytelling and art that comes out of it. You saw some of that art in the opening video that we showed to celebrate the International Day of Light. And it brings about social cohesion. And this is an image that my good friend Charlie, which is what I call the AI that I use, produced. I wanted a picture of light in different formats, different cultures around the world for this presentation. And that's what Charlie produced. In India, you have Diwali, where light has victory over darkness in the Festival of Light. China, in the Lantern Festival. Lanterns signify prosperity. Have you ever seen the Lantern Festival where everybody lights the light and it goes up into the air. In Japan, the lighting of Zen gardens, where it's simplicity, it's mindfulness, and the spiritual garden, the Zen garden, is supposed to give you spiritual clarity. It's peaceful. It's so beautiful. If any of you have had the privilege of going to Japan, and I'm fortunate, I've been on a few occasions, it's a wonderful place to see their gardens. In the Middle East, intricate lanterns are used in homes, especially during Ramadan, for the ambience and also for spirituality. It brings the occupants in that home to a spiritual place during that period until they break the fast each day. In Africa, firelight and lanterns. Typical firelight. You think about people go on safari and they eat outdoors and they sit around the fireplace and they tell stories about the animals, etc. If we think about the Bushmen in Africa, in Southern Africa, where they talk about the animals and they say, and the animals, they tell the children the stories. Firelight makes it possible. In Western culture, we have Christmas lights that bring joy and warmth. It's more so in the Northern Hemisphere because it fits in, the temperatures fit in with the spirit of Christmas. But even in South Africa, Christmas lights play an important role. And then the indigenous peoples around the world, in different parts of the world, fire and natural life signifies life, transformation, and often it is used to signify the ancestral presence amongst the people. So in conclusion, we've discussed a range of exciting lighting technologies and other technologies. But we need to educate at every level, from professionals in the built environment to lighting companies and potential clients. We have to tell them about the benefits of new technology, not get stuck with the same old lighting designs because we know they work, whatever the case is. You have to take that leap of faith and move into the new technologies. Urge everyone to adopt new lighting technologies for their own benefit, for the clients, and for cost benefits. So we can complete the webinar. If any of you would like to know more about the courses and you would like to enroll, here are our contact details. I'll leave it on the screen for just a short while. Thank you once again for attending. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope that you found it useful. And if anything, I hope it's also made you more curious. You can find all our details on our webpage. So once again, our appreciation for you taking time out of your busy schedule to spend that with us. You have been very welcome and a joy to talk to.